All right, so just kind of looking back on Hawaii, what do you like? What still has to be better?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing you liked the most was just the effort. I thought our guys, they played hard. We had some breakdowns, just kind of some concentration type things, especially on the defensive end where we just blew assignments. I think you can put a little bit of that to you don't have the same prep. It's the same for both teams, obviously, but you don't have the same prep playing 3 games in a row. But some of it was things guys have been successful with. They just, I don't know if fatigue sets in or it's just lack of concentration or whatever, but we just got to stay more connected on the defensive end and make sure we're sticking to our rules, whether that's ball screen defense or post defense or, whatever action that they're running.
So you guys just won the greatest MT ever, probably. You're number 1 in the country again, but it feels like you're still got some threshold to get better.
Sure. Oh yeah. That's what we talked about in film. Like you always have room for improvement. We really didn't play our best basketball in any of those games. I thought we played really hard. I thought we competed, which that'll make up for a lot, of mistakes. But I thought we made enough, necessary plays, especially late in games in all 3 games to be able to pull out the win. But, got to make our free throws, got to be better on the defensive end, and then we got to clean up the turnovers.
Just the offensive piece of it. What do you like about what you're doing right now? Again, what has to get better?
Well, we made shots. We made more threes, especially in that last game in the first half. We set the tone because we're 7 for 9 from 3. When they give you open shots and they overdo some things, you got to step up and make it. So, I thought we did a good job of, running our stuff for the most part. We got to be stronger with the basketball. We had some careless turnovers. But I thought our guys did a great job of just kind of taking what the defense gave them and being confident, step up there and take the shots that are open.
Long season, a lot of expectations on these guys. How much is taking some joy from those wins part of the antidote of just getting through every game and focusing?
Yeah, you have to, cherish wins. You have to have that night. The next morning you start over, but you have to have that night where you feel good about it to where you mentally don't, flip the page and, go to the next game, right away. So I think that's an important piece, to everything. So you just don't get bogged down. It's like winning games, and as a coach, you're still critical, right? Or you get a lot of people that are that way, And I think that's the thing that you can't always get worked up for how you win. Just keep trying to make plays, keep making necessary plays, but keep improving. Like, be honest. Like, you're making mistakes when you win, and you're doing good things when you lose. Obviously, one's more than the other, or the outcome wouldn't be what it is. So I think it's important for your guys to understand that. Like, be critical of yourself without beating yourself up.
When you were looking at Lance Jones, and same thing with Dave, I guess, last year, when you get those transfer portal guys, how much value do you put in character and how they're going to fit with the guys around them?
Yeah, it's a little different with him. I coached a player that, that played at Evanston Township, before. So, we knew his high school coach. I recruited his college coach. It'll make you feel old, right? Who's a defensive-minded coach who was an assistant at Loyola when they went to the Final Four and played at Southern Illinois. And so the people that were in his wheelhouse are people I'm familiar with, both defensive-minded people. And then, to check off on his character and to check off on everything, you knew the people around. Sometimes when you're vetting somebody and you're doing background checks, you're asking questions to people you don't know. And so there's a pretty loose variable, right? They could be telling you the absolute truth, or they could be, pulling one over on you, saying somebody's a great kid or a tough kid or a hard worker, and they're really not. And in this case, he obviously was. He checks all the boxes. He's a good person who works hard. He's a team guy. He's competitive. And so what we needed more quickness. We need someone who can make an open shot. We need someone who can defend, and he can do all those things. So it worked for us.
He said he liked coming here and not having to be the man. And I think everybody kind of wants to be the guy, but he's done that. And now he wants to play for a team that's got a chance to win a lot of games.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's been a good mix so far. But no different than David Jenkins. We definitely got the right person. And I think that's where you start with. And sometimes not sometimes I do, I will go that route, and then I'll be like a little top heavy somewhere or be a little bankrupt in another area. But I'm a big believer on getting the right people, and that's what, you know, is going to win more for you.
I know you don't normally make much of this, but human beings are what they are. Is there a specific way you want your team to handle being number one again?
No, just staying on, you know, the functionality of the game more than anything, instead of like talking in theory about being number one in the country. Just, you know, keep working and keep trying to get better at what we do, without rehashing everything that we just talked about.
Is that something that can come from that? Is getting the number one ranking something that can be a carrot for more? Because a lot of people human nature might kind of dictate that they view it as a destination.
I think human nature has a lot of people in our locker room that have went through this before. So you hope those experiences of, you know, playing the games that we did while we were number one in the country, if it even matters, can help them in realizing the big picture of, you know, we're trying to get better, we're trying to improve, we're trying to win a Big Ten championship, trying to win, you know, a Big Ten tournament championship, trying to go to the Final Four and win a national championship. You know, it's a tall order, so like that doesn't supersede, you know, that piece of it. But I think anytime you play a highly ranked team, you know, I think you get, you know, more somebody's best shot. I think that definitely holds true. I think you just have to have the wherewithal to understand that you still have to go out and whatever the hell you did to become number one, you should probably still keep trying to do the same thing. So.
Just what your program has done here the last 3 years, especially against the landscape of what college basketball is nowadays, a lot of games you're not necessarily playing. Just have you been able to do it?
Well, we have good players. That's how we've been able to do it. You know, 3 years ago we had a dynamic guard. You know, obviously Travion and Zach together was a really, really good tandem, had good pieces. And then we've built around Zach here the last couple of years, with some cerebral guys, with some guys that can, you know, shoot the basketball and know how to play. And it's just been a good, you know, it's been a good mix. But it helps that if you have a National Player of the Year. I think you would be remiss if you didn't say that. You know, that's not our cornerstone. That's our guy. And so he's gotten better at rebounding out of his area. He's gotten better on defense. He's gotten better at changing ends. So it's just not about him and posting up and getting the basketball. He's become a good all-around player. But I think our other guys have too. I think you can see the improvement, you know, of 3 guys from their freshman to their sophomore years. I think those guys have made improvements also. You know, I think we have a lot of people on our bench that would be starters other places, and then they could end up being starters for us too. That's not the point. They didn't come to Purdue to start. They came to Purdue to win. And so like those guys being able to sacrifice and sometimes play 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you know, and keep a good attitude is huge. And I think that's how you grow as a team. When you have those type of guys on your team that's pulling the rope in the same direction.
Do you like what you're doing offensively at this point, and what do you still have to get better at there?
When we don't turn it over, I like it. Yeah.
Answer both
Just
questions.
our basic turnovers, like handling pressure, triple threat in the basketballs, you know, it's gotta stop. You know, we do so many good things and we just hand the ball to people. Got to do what we're supposed to when the ball goes inside to Zach. When guys don't do what they're supposed to, it messes up. It looks like it's his mistake, and sometimes it is. But there's other times it's just, you know, guys not reacting to what we're supposed to be able to do. So, no, I like it. I think Braden's being aggressive is something that we definitely need. I like Fletch being aggressive when he has angles and he has advantages. And so not always just playing post-up basketball. I mean, we can blend that. It really helps us. It gives us more of a balance. But when we turn the basketball over and we're careless and we always try to hit home runs, that's where we get into trouble. We can't do that. Sometimes you got to be simple. If they get aggressive, you got to let the ball movement do the trick.
You go from 3 highly ranked teams to a bye game against an opponent that people probably perceive you're going to beat. But I think your guys are veteran enough that, you know, we can't overlook anybody.
Yeah, you know, this team has been a 16 seed in 3 straight tournaments. You know, this is the team that Farley Dickinson beat to play us. So this is who we've struggled against. So, like, I think it's really important for us to have that competitive fear and go into this game and you know, and look at them for what they are. They're a team that's been in the tournament 3 straight years. Their coach is an experienced coach, and you know, you got to be ready to play.
with the improvement around Zach, do you look to rest him more in games for later in the season, or is that even something that comes to your mind?
I do a little bit when I can. Like you saw the first 2 games, I was able to do that. But yeah, I prefer him to be on the court.
Good strategy.
Just a genius.
Yeah.
Coming out, basketball genius. So, all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.